Hi, welcome to a new video dedicated to a new racer from Eachine. This is the VT 210 and it's the first Chinese quadcopter here in RTF format using, as you can see, this inverted location of motor. This kind of tail system should in theory improve the authority, so make your life much more easy to turn at fast forward movement, to turn left and right. It comes either with this blue and red design or yellow one. This is the RTF version using a fly sky radio protocol. So now let's discover the content of the design. Okay, first of all, here is the instruction manual printed in color where you will find all the information. Okay, so you have either an RF version, okay, so without any receiver and radio, or like mine, the RTF version with a fly sky solution. You have all the characteristics of, for example, of the motors, of the flying controlling board, here an FPA Racing F3 board, so a very powerful one, and the specification of the AC. They are rated 20 ampere, supported one shot 125. Okay, not barely S compatible and D shot compatible. And you have also the specification of the camera. You have a built-in 1080p DVR, so you can record simultaneously the 1080p videos as well, broadcasting the signal in PAL or NTSC format. And here you have the list of all the frequency band. 5 channels are supported, 40 channels in total, so 5 bands supported, and the associated frequencies for each corresponding band. You have the split diagram, etc. So the instruction manual is very well done. So you have the spare list elements, all the UART port and communication port here, as well how to configure your machine in clean flight. Okay, if you have, for example, a DSM2, DSMX receiver or an S-Bus version, okay, it's very nicely done. Now, here you have 2 sets of 4 props. They are exactly some Gen fan, and they are exactly some 50-45 bell nose. Okay, so you have at least 4 spare one in the bundle. The radio transmitter, as you can see, it's a classic fly sky model, okay, but branded by Eachine, and you cannot enter directly in the setup, so you have to use the classic trick to press bus trim in there, okay, while powering on. And in this case, you can now enter into the menu very easily and check, for example, that the supported protocol, the FHDS2A, okay, and you can, for example, display the current firmware and etc. You have exactly 1, 2, 3 two-way, okay, switch A, B, and D, and the switch C is a 3-way one. Let's little bit focus on the transmitter. So, for example, the endpoints are done. You can see here that you have Aileron IRTR map channel, where respectively the channel 5 is a switch A and the channel 6 is a switch B. So it means that you will have to, for example, it's pre-programmed, the switch A will be used to arm the quadcopter, while the switch B more to select between the angle mode and the acro mode. Okay, so it's classic, no extra job to be done, except if you want to not harm your quadcopter with a switch, you can free this switch A to be used for another application. For example, to control, to tune your buzzer, because there is a buzzer. So you will find here the power unit to for the charger, and this is a Charson model. It's allowed to charge between a 2, 3 or 4S model, and good news, this charger can be used to test your current voltage. So for all the cells of your multi-cells lipo, that's great. So for example, I will show in a few instants how it can be used. You have also a free USB cable with USB to micro USB, for example, to configure your flight controller in clean flight. That's always great to provide such cable. And here you have some Allen key, some wrench to lock the nuts, okay, more easily. That's great. And also you have here a Bluetooth module if you want to configure, thanks to a smartphone, all your PIDs in the field. You can use this such modules. That's great. Just connect it to the free UART available in the machine. Okay, so now let's focus more on the machine. So you have to gently extract it, and beneath you have the battery. So it's a 4-cellular model. It's 1500 mAh, ending with XT60 connector. I can give you an information about the weight and well the dimension. So it's pretty heavy because it's a 4-cell cellular. For example, this weight standalone 168.7 grams, and I can give you some dimension even if you have a lot of free room available. So it's not a big question of how to find some spare one, but I can say that it's already very heavy machine, so I don't advise to install a much more larger one. Okay, so it's 90 more or less 90 millimeters by 33 by 28. Okay, so the discharge rate is announced to be 50 C, so quite powerful battery. And let's try with the balancer plug to show how it's working. So you have to insert in the balancer plug, and as you can see, it will cycle between the different cellular. So the first is 386, the second 385, the third 86, and the 485. And the total is 15.4 volt. Okay, almost full charge, well, at 50%. So it's in this, it's well packaging because it's traveling to be in store mode. That's great for the safety of the LiPo. That's great. So you will need to recharge for your first flight. Now let's have a focus to the main quadcopter. And well, first impression. You have the classic, but not the classic, you have the main originality. This is a V-tail. So as you can see, you have an angle of approximately 25%, okay? And here you have the carbon arm here, okay? And some LEDs configurable through clean flight or beta flight. Another arm, but the middle section, as you can see here, is in plastic. So it's really strange because here it's carbon. Well, we will make the checking that it's a 33K carbon. I will give some thickness in a few moments. Here and here, two other carbon elements, but the junction, the union is done by this plastic element. Wow, my God, if the quadcopter is falling here like this on the ground, be sure that the plastic will break. It's a real problem in the design of this machine. It's I'm shocked to see that. That's why to bring everywhere some carbon and to keep such weak point here. It's just not criminal, but it's a very weak point on it. So let's focus and continue. Let's focus a little bit on the motor. So there are some 2005, the same strong Emax model. So they are known like them to be very strong. They are installed in some last DJC model, and they give a lot of punch. That's great. And for the rear motors, you have the ESC attached with some mini banana plug, so to make your maintenance much more easy. And they are seen in the clean flight pass-through, so if you want, you can flash very easily a new firmware on them. That's great. And let's continue to go up. You can see here some UART. Here is for the GPS module, so the UART 3 is for the GPS connection. Below you have a free plug, a free 4 is for the IRF. If you want to install more DSM2, DSMX receiver, you have to plug here. The other one is the UART2, is connected directly with the FlySky receiver installed here. Maybe you can see. Here you have the antenna of the FlySky receiver. So this FlySky receiver is connected in PPM connection. Okay, so on front you will have the front ESC, the same Emax Lightning, 20 ampere. I don't have any information about their capacity in peak, but should be around 25 or 30 ampere. So they are very strong, compatible with 4S, no problem at all. They are only supporting one-shot 125, but at least dampening light is supported. Okay, that's a good point. So it should be strong enough. And let's focus more on the front. Wow, another big problem is available. You can see here, this is the camera using to film in 1080p, as well to send the signals through this ribbon cable to the DVR behind. Okay, so you can guess that when you will crash front, this camera will be completely destroyed. Okay, but there are other catastrophic scenarios. For example, when you will attach the battery, you have to attach with the XT60 connector attached like this. Okay, front. Okay, because you have to connect more like this. Okay. This is more like this, because you have to connect the XT60 connector like this. So in case of frontal crash, the battery, if you don't install any Velcro band behind, will slip and destroy completely the front camera. Okay, so be sure to install here some Velcro band to secure completely the installation of the battery is very important. So not only the frontal camera is absolutely not protected, well, it's installed on this kind of flexible mount, so with a small piece of foam, probably to absorb some Velcro. Notice that in the other package I presented, I don't know where is it, here you have a spare camera ribbon cable, so probably Eachine guess that this is one of the weak points and provide a spare one in case you damage it. And it can happen very easily, because on front here, this is the DVR module, and as you can see, there is already a micro SD card provided. It's mine, it's not coming in the packaging, so you have to give your micro SD slot card here, and you have to gently bend the ribbon cable to insert it. Okay, so each time you will insert or remove the micro SD card, you have the probability to damage the ribbon cable is non-zero, so it's the problems. So all the bottom side is in carbon, but they have two parts, one here on the front and one here on the rear. The front one is only 2 millimeters, while the rear one is a little bit more stronger, 3 millimeters. As well for the arms, they are 3 millimeters. So strong arms, for example, the ESC are simply connected through a specific connector. So in practice, it means that they are arms are very easy to change. You just need to remove this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 X screw and 2 X screws, and you can, for example, remove the front arms with the motor, all the block arms, ESC and motors. Okay, so for maintenance it's okay. The landing gears are in plastic, so after the first crash they will break for sure. If you so you can break simultaneously the camera and the landing gear. It's a drawback. Here this one is also in plastic, should be not so super resistant. Okay, so what you can see here, it's where is the video transmitter, and here you have the antenna, the linear antenna, and I am also in shock how this one is installed, so more horizontally. It means that the signal will be strong in the radius term, in the circle one, okay, in the Tor, associated Tor. It means that front in this main axis, the signal will be super weak, okay, because please check the diagram of propagation of a linear antenna, and it means that when you are flying horizontally, you are targeting the FPV quad, not with high altitude. The video signal will be pretty weak if you are aligned with the transmitter like this. I will need time. If you are flying in this configuration, the signal will be super weak. Okay, so definitively a drawback, and a linear antenna will be partially blocked by the carbon element located beneath. So it's strongly advised to change first of all the linear antenna to a more cloverleaf one and to install it more vertically. And no way out of the box to make an AZV frequency selection. So how to proceed? You have to remove this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 X screws to access to the deep switch, and the deep switch is just installed here. So why they didn't drill a hole to access to the 6 position deep switch? I don't understand. So another weak point, okay, associated with. Here you can find the XT60 main connectors. Okay, and the flight control board, you have 2 USB ports. The left one is to to flash or to configure a clean flight. This is the 1.13 installed by default, and the right USB port is to configure more the internal OSD, because you have an OSD, built-in OSD. Okay, that's great, which display an horizon artificial line, which display your current battery voltage. I don't think, since it's a FlySky, it will display the RSSI, but some other information, since there is a GPS installed on top, just beneath here, it will also display the GPS information as well your flight mode. That's great. Notice that the flight control board not only have accelerometers and 6-axis stabilization, but also a built-in barometer. So in theory, you should be able to apply an altitude hold flight mode, but you have to know that generally in clean flight and beta flight, such mode is not working super efficiently. So in practice, you will only fly in horizon, angle, or acro if you are more an expert flyer. So I don't understand finally why they give such 10 degrees of freedom flight controlling board, okay, and as well as the GPS, since after probably a first or 2 crash, you will kill completely this machine. Let's give an information about the weight, and I can say that it's already pretty heavy. So I will use this as a box, okay. You can see that already the machine will weigh close to 403 grams standalone. Okay, it's very important. And if I had the battery close to 571, and with the props installed, we should reach close to 600 grams, so 593 grams to be more precise. Okay, I'll remove the weight of the plastic here, so it should be around 590 grams. So it's super heavy in my point of view, especially when you know that there is some very weak point here. So I'm really afraid about the life duration of such machine. Okay, so let's make a small try in OSD and to show the all information displayed by the OSD. Already mentioned some. Notice that for example, to turn on the 1080p recording, you have 2 buttons here. This is the more front, so more easy to access with the thumb. So the more external one. The more inner one is to make a full reset of your machine. So I will turn on the FPV monitor, and notice that I change the video frequency, and you have to know that the table given here is partially wrong. In fact, I selected to the here for me in the Boscan band, so here it's a group D, and for example, I tune like it was written for the D4. In practice, it was the D7. So the D7 is swapped with the D4. I guess for the band is the same. So there is a problem with the frequency table. So how to install the battery? You have to insert like this. Definitively be sure to install more battery strap around to not make it to not allow the battery to slide. Okay, don't worry, this is my FPV monitor yelling. Be sure that you have a linear antenna connected before to plug. Okay, and you have the OSD information display. Okay, and after, okay, let's remove the cap, and you have a lot of information about the GPS, flight mode, and two other information are displayed associated with the camera, which is here the standby mode. It means that it's not recording, and here the time remaining on the micro SD card. All other information are coming from the minimum SD built-in inside the machine. The signal is more or less clear. Let's check a little bit the latency. Okay. Latency sounds pretty good. Let's play it with while recording. Okay, we can see here no frame drop while recording. That's great. And you have here the red button recording as well the remaining or the current process. So that's great. So I will stop recording by pressing here. Okay, and as you can see, now it's returned. That's great. To harm the machine by default, you have to be sure to do that experiment without props. You have to press this button and you can harm now the machine. I noticed some little interferences in the videos. Look at some line appearing when the motor are on. So maybe the voltage regulator is not an amazing to perform such job to filter out any interferences. So okay, I've done a completely tour of the machine. Now I will connect it to Clean Flight and give the default configuration. Okay, and eventually doing some small adjustment to improve some default settings. Hi, welcome to the first demo flight of the Eachine V 210. So I will be the first outdoors and real test of this V-tail system, so should improving the authorities, and from the original setting I just increase the default rates to 0.6 in clean flight, but it's still using clean flight. Some remark. First of all, how to install the props. Be aware, compared to other model, here you have a counterclockwise props, so, and in the opposite side you have also a clockwise, so counterclockwise here, clockwise, counterclockwise, so be aware of it, don't be wrong. If not, I also install more cloverleaf antenna because the linear antenna should unfortunately not offer great range and a lot of static in the videos. One more things, I also tune the output to pale, so how to proceed. While powering, press the button to trigger the camera recording, so the front one, so press it while powering the system and you will cycle between NTNC to pale. Actually is set to pale. Okay, so I will first fly in a lost condition and we'll see how is easy. Today is windy and the sun starts to be low, so we will see how he's handling the camera. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so I will turn on everything. I strongly advise to install the battery like this, so with the connector front, and to be able to correctly lock the XT60 connector. Okay, and one more thing, as many of my quadcopters like to apply dual rate on the switch A, so it's pretty easy. Check my other video, but if you don't know, you have to enter into the setup. Okay, so I can show, and I only apply 70% on channel 1 and 2 in dual rate 0 when this switch A in the up position, and here 100%. Okay, so I will check my goggles, see if my FPV signal is here. Yes, I will press recording, and actually I have just a few information, and the bad news, it seems that when you turn the camera in pale format, the OSD information are not well correctly displayed. It means that you have to flash the firmware to change an option to turn into pale also, if you want all the information correctly displayed. Okay, so I will try to turn recording, so by pressing this button, and I hope to see in the information the stuff. Okay, my goggles crashed, sometimes happen, they hold. Okay, it's recording. I will press recording again. Yes, and I can engage the flight. So let's see. I will take off in angle mode. Okay, and let's see that. Oh, it's very noisy. It's very noisy, yeah? Okay. Some oscillation. Yes. I found the original setting is not super tuned. Okay. Let's engage more the dual rate 1, so full speed. Let's see a pump. Oh my god, it's so noisy. 600 grams. You can feel it's windy, the wind comes from the right, and it's under influence of the wind. Maybe you can see, maybe I will come the quadcopter closer, but when I'm turning left and right, you have the LEDs flashing correspondingly, but you can see some instabilities, so some PID adjustment must be done. My god, I never had such noisy brushless quadcopter. Very noisy. it's faster. Okay, I will land now. Okay, I will stop recording here. Okay, I will check that and check recording here. Yes, so everything is safe. So I will try more to attempt more in horizon mode. Okay, we will start recording. Press recording again. You have to check in your Google that yes, seems to be a record. And let's check that. Okay, more in horizon mode. Whoa, seems to be not super stable. Whoa. Yes. The machine needs to better tuning for sure. So I guess with the 160%, it's too much in terms of rates. You need to decrease these values or adjust the PD setting correspondingly. Wow. I'm a little bit scary of this machine, to be honest. With my, yes, not super return in 6-axis stabilization. At least you have damping light, so it's great. I will stop recording. Okay, and stop recording here. Okay, a new demo, this time with the correct setup for the PAL configuration, so you have to play with the MW OSD graphic user interface. Actually, this is a version 1.6 installed on the current OSD board, okay, and well, you can tune a lot of different parameters, and 2 extra information are also displayed associated with the 1080p camera built-in DVR, okay. So I hope today we enjoy more pleasant flight. I also decrease the rates for other 2/3 channel, so I'm set to 0.15 and it was 0 for the default settings in when it came from the factory setting. So let's engage the flight a little bit more in lost condition first, then more in FPV. Let's go. Okay, so actually I'm receiving up to 6 satellites, so I will record on my FPV goggle and as well on the built-in DVR if I pressed correctly. Yes, seems to be okay. So now it's time to fly it in lost condition. Yes, let's go. So as I said previously, this machine is very noisy. Yes, by decreasing the default settings now it's much more stable machine. Okay, now I press for dual rate 1, so full rate. It's fast. I was disappointed by the actual battery capacities. You have approximately 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 600 grams, no miracle, despite 4S settings. Wow, fly beautifully. Yes, your authority is much better. Yes. Yes, much better. Okay. I will land and continue more in lost condition.